My name is Lila Thompson, and I am 32 years old living in the heart of San Francisco, California, where the fog rolls in over the Golden Gate Bridge like a heavy gray blanket that never seems to lift from the soul of this city. For a long time, I thought I was one of the lucky ones because I had a high-paying job at a major technology firm and a beautiful apartment with a view of the bay, but that all changed 6 months ago when the company decided to restructure, and I was tossed aside like a piece of outdated hardware. I remember sitting in that cold glass office as my boss Marcus Thorne looked at me with those eyes that felt as sharp and cold as ice cubes, while he told me that my role was redundant and that the future belonged to those who could adapt to the new world of artificial intelligence and automation. He did not even have the decency to look me in the eye when he handed me my severance package, and told me that I should consider myself lucky for the time I had spent there, because the market was getting crowded and someone of my particular skill set might find it difficult to stay relevant. I spent the next 4 months waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and sitting at my desk until midnight as I meticulously tailored my resume for every single job posting I could find on the internet. I was a professional, and I had over a decade of experience in software development and project management. But it did not seem to matter, because every time I hit the submit button on a job application, it felt like I was throwing a coin into a bottomless well where I never heard it hit the bottom. I applied to over 500 jobs in those first few months, and the silence was deafening because I either received a robotic rejection email within 3 seconds of applying, or I heard absolutely nothing at all, which was even worse. It became clear to me that I was not being judged by human beings anymore, but instead I was being filtered out by the very algorithms and artificial intelligence systems that Marcus Thorne had praised so highly during my firing. The system was rigged against people like me because the human resources departments had become lazy, and they relied on software to do the thinking for them. So if your resume did not have the exact right combination of keywords, or if you had a gap of more than 2 weeks in your employment history, the machine would simply discard you without a second thought. I reached my breaking point on a rainy Tuesday in November when I received a rejection letter from a company where I knew the hiring manager personally. And when I called him to ask why I was not even considered for an interview, he told me that he never even saw my application because the automated system had flagged me as a low match for the position. I felt a cold rage bubbling up inside my chest that I had never felt before because I realized that I was playing a game where the rules were hidden, and the referee was a computer that did not care about my talent or my hard work. I decided right then and there that if the corporate world wanted to use machines to ignore me, then I would use a machine to make it impossible for them to ever ignore me again. I spent the next 3 weeks locked in my apartment, surviving on nothing but black coffee and instant noodles, as I began to build my masterpiece, which I called Laboro Company. I used every bit of my knowledge in coding and machine learning to create an artificial intelligence agent that was far more sophisticated than anything the recruiters were using to filter people out. My program was designed to scan every job board on the internet and identify every single opening that matched my broad criteria, and then it would analyze the job description to understand exactly what the company was looking for in a candidate. It would then automatically rewrite my resume and cover letter to perfectly mirror the language and requirements of the posting, ensuring that no automated filter could ever find a reason to reject me. But I did not stop there, because I also programmed Laboro to bypass the standard application portals and find the direct email addresses of the hiring managers and executives at those companies so that my materials would land directly in their personal inboxes. I felt like a general preparing for a massive invasion as I tested the code and watched the lines of text scroll across my screen in a glowing green blur of efficiency. The night I launched the system, I sat on my balcony and watched the lights of the San Francisco skyline flickering in the distance, knowing that I was about to unleash a digital storm that would shake the foundations of the recruitment industry. I pressed the enter key at exactly 8 o'clock in the evening, and the program began its work with a quiet hum from my cooling fans as it started submitting applications at a speed that no human could ever hope to match. In the first hour, it had already sent out 100 perfectly tailored applications, And by the time I woke up the next morning, the counter on my dashboard showed that it had submitted over 1,000 applications in just 12 hours. My phone started buzzing almost immediately, and it did not stop for the rest of the day as notifications flooded my screen with interview requests and follow-up questions from recruiters who were suddenly desperate to talk to me. It was a beautiful irony, because the very same companies that had ignored me for months were now tripping over themselves to schedule meetings, because my artificial intelligence agent had made me look like the most perfect candidate in the history of the world. I had created more job opportunities for myself in half a day than I had in the previous 6 months of manual searching, and I felt a sense of power that was intoxicating. But the best part was yet to come, because among the hundreds of emails I received was one from Zenith Dynamics, which was the very company that had fired me, and the email was from none other than Marcus Thorne himself. He did not realize that I was the same Lila Thompson he had dismissed so coldly, because my system had updated my profile and highlighted my new expertise in artificial intelligence in a way that made me look like a global leader in the field. Marcus wrote to me saying that he had seen my impressive background and that his company was looking for a consultant to help them fix their struggling recruitment process, because they were being overwhelmed by a sudden surge of high-quality applicants that they could not keep up with. I laughed out loud in my empty apartment, because he was basically asking me to help him deal with the chaos that I had created myself. I decided to play along, and I scheduled a video call with him for the following day, making sure to set up my camera so that the background showed a professional-looking home office that radiated success. When the call started, and Marcus saw my face, his jaw literally dropped, and he sat there in silence for several seconds as he tried to process the fact that the woman he had called redundant was now the most sought-after expert in the industry. I gave him a cold smile and asked him if he was having trouble managing his workflow, because I had heard that his company was struggling to adapt to the new world of automated recruitment. He tried to regain his composure and started babbling about how there must have been a misunderstanding and that he always knew I had great potential, but I cut him off and told him that I was not interested in a job at his failing company. I told him that I was the creator of Laboro Company and that the reason his systems were failing was because my artificial intelligence was smarter than his, and that I had effectively flooded the market with so much quality competition that his old-fashioned filters were now useless. The look of pure terror on his face was worth more than any salary they could have ever paid me, because he realized that I held the keys to the kingdom, and that his entire career was built on a foundation of sand that I was currently washing away. Over the next week, I received over 50 legitimate job offers, and I had interviews scheduled in 3 different countries, including high-level positions in London and Tokyo and Berlin. The word about Laboro Company began to spread through the tech community like wildfire, and suddenly, the very venture capitalists and corporate executives who had treated me like a ghost were reaching out to me asking how they could invest in my platform. They wanted to buy the system so they could use it to control the market again. But I told them all the same thing, which was that my technology was not for sale to anyone who had ever used an automated filter to ignore a human being. I decided to turn Laboro into a public service for job seekers instead of a tool for corporations, and I released a version of the software that allowed anyone to use it for free to help them bypass the gatekeepers of the industry. The revenge was poetic, because I had not only saved my own career, but I had permanently broken the unfair system that Marcus Thorne and people like him used to maintain their power over workers. I ended up taking a high-level executive role at a rival firm in San Francisco that actually valued human intelligence, and I made sure that my first act in my new position was to blackball Marcus Thorne from ever working in the industry again, because everyone now knew that he had been outsmarted by the very person he had tried to destroy. I still live in my apartment with the view of the bay, but now when I look at the fog, I don't feel like it is a blanket of despair anymore, because I know that I am the one who cleared the air. The final twist came a month later when I received a notification that Marcus Thorne had submitted a job application to my new company using the free version of Laboro Company that I had released to the public. He was using my own tool to try and find a job because no one would hire him through traditional means, and I made sure to program a special filter just for him that automatically sent his application directly into the trash folder every single time he tried to apply. I realized then that the best way to get revenge is not just to succeed, but to become the very thing that your enemies are forced to rely on for their survival. Now the companies that once rejected me are the ones chasing me, and they are all trying to figure out how to be a part of the system that I built out of anger and coffee in a lonely apartment. My name is Lila Thompson, and I am no longer redundant because I am the one who changed the game, and I am the one who is finally having the last laugh while the rest of the world tries to catch up to the machine I created. The lesson I learned is that when they try to use technology to make you invisible, you just have to build a brighter light that they cannot help but see. And once you have their attention, you can show them exactly what happens when you underestimate a woman with a laptop and a reason to get even. I spend my days now helping others navigate the world I disrupted, and I make sure that the humans always stay one step ahead of the machines, even if I have to write the code myself to make sure it stays that way. The San Francisco sun is finally shining through the window today, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I am exactly where I am supposed to be in a world that I helped to reshape with my own 2 hands and a lot of lines of Python code. It is a strange and beautiful feeling to know that I am the master of my own destiny, and that I will never have to worry about a cold-hearted recruiter or a soulless algorithm ever telling me what I am worth again. I have built a legacy out of the wreckage of my old life, and every time I see a new user sign up for my platform, I know that I am helping one more person take back their power from a system that never deserved it in the first place. This is the new normal, where the workers have the tools to fight back, and where the gatekeepers are finally being shown the door, and I could not be happier to be the one holding it open for them as they walk out into the light of a new day. My journey from a discarded employee to a tech revolutionary has been the most difficult and rewarding experience of my life, and I would not change a single second of it, because it led me to this moment of absolute victory. I am Lila Thompson, and this is my story of how I took on the giants, and won by using their own weapons against them in a way they never saw coming and never will forget. The emails keep coming in, and the offers keep getting bigger, but I stay focused on the mission of keeping the playing field level for everyone, because I know exactly how it feels to be on the other side of that digital wall. I have turned my anger into an engine for change, and that engine is now running at full speed, pulling the entire industry toward a future that is fair and transparent and human-centric. The silence that used to haunt my apartment is gone, replaced by the sound of progress and the steady clicking of a keyboard as I continue to refine my work and expand the reach of Laboro Company to every corner of the globe. I am no longer just a name on a resume or a data point in a database, because I am the creator of a movement that has redefined what it means to look for work in the 21st century, and I am just getting started. Every morning, I wake up and I look at the dashboard of my system, seeing the thousands of people who are using my tools to find their dream jobs, and I feel a deep sense of satisfaction that no amount of money could ever buy. I have found my purpose, and it is to ensure that no one else ever has to feel the way I did on that rainy Tuesday when I realized the system was rigged against us. The future is here, and it is bright, and it belongs to those of us who were brave enough to build it ourselves instead of waiting for someone else to give us permission to exist. I am standing tall in San Francisco, and I am looking toward the horizon with a smile on my face, because I know that I have already won the biggest fight of my life, and I have the scars and the code to prove it. The world is a different place now, and I am the one who changed it, and that is the ultimate revenge against anyone who ever thought I was anything less than extraordinary. I will continue to code, and I will continue to fight, and I will continue to win, because I have learned that the only limit to what we can achieve is the limit we place on ourselves, and I have long since removed all the limits from my life. The story of Lila Thompson is not just about a woman who built an artificial intelligence agent, but it is about a person who refused to be silenced and who found a way to make her voice heard louder than any machine could ever scream. I am here, and I am successful, and I am free, and that is all I ever wanted from the moment I first sat down to write the first line of code for Laboro Company. The journey has been long and the road has been hard, but the destination is more beautiful than I ever could have imagined back when I was just another unemployed face in the crowd. Now, I am the one who sets the terms, and I am the one who decides the future, and I am the one who is leading the way into a new era of opportunity for everyone everywhere. The fog has finally lifted from San Francisco, and I can see the bridge clearly now standing strong against the blue sky as a symbol of connection and strength and resilience, which is exactly what I have become. I am ready for whatever comes next, because I know that I have the skills and the heart and the technology to handle anything that the world throws at me, and I will never back down from a challenge ever again. This is my life, and it is a good life, and I earned every bit of it through hard work and determination, and a little bit of digital mischief that changed everything for the better. I am proud of what I have accomplished, and I am excited for what the future holds as I continue to build and grow and help others do the same in this brave new world we are creating together. The game is over, and I am the winner, and the best part is that I am not the only one, because everyone who uses my system is a winner too, and that is the true meaning of success in my book. I am Lila Thompson, and I am just getting started with making sure the world knows that the humans are still in charge, and we are not going anywhere anytime soon. I close my laptop and walk out into the San Francisco sunshine, feeling the warmth on my face, and knowing that I have done something truly meaningful with my time and my talent. The world is waiting, and I am ready to meet it on my own terms, with my head held high and my heart full of hope for everything that is yet to come. I am a software engineer, and I am a creator, and I am a survivor, and most importantly, I am the person who turned a rejection into a revolution. The end of my old story was just the beginning of my new one, and I am so glad that I had the courage to write it myself instead of letting someone like Marcus Thorne do it for me. I am free, and I am powerful, and I am exactly who I was always meant to be in this city of dreams and technology and endless possibilities. My name is Lila Thompson, and I have finally found my way home in the middle of the digital storm I created to save myself. I can see the lights of the city starting to twinkle as evening approaches, and I know that each of those lights represents a person with a story and a dream, and I am glad that I can help some of them reach their goals just like I reached mine. The air is cool and crisp, and I feel a sense of peace that I have not felt in years as I realize that I am finally done fighting for my place in the world, because I have built a place of my own that no one can ever take away from me. I am Lila Thompson, and I am happy, and I am successful, and I am exactly where I want to be at this very moment in time. The machine is still running, and the applications are still being sent, and the world is still changing. But for now, I am just going to enjoy the view and the feeling of a job well done. I am a woman who took her life back, and that is the best revenge anyone could ever ask for in this world or any other. I am ready for the next chapter, and I know it is going to be even better than the last one, because I am the one holding the pen, and I know exactly what I want to write next. The city is quiet now, but the hum of the internet is always there, and I am a part of it in a way that I never thought possible back when I was just another employee in a glass office. I am a pioneer, and I am a leader, and I am a force to be reckoned with, and I will never let anyone forget it as long as I have a computer and a connection to the world. I am Lila Thompson, and this is my victory lap, and I am going to enjoy every single step of it as I move forward into the bright and shining future I have built for myself and for everyone else who believes in the power of a good idea and the strength of the human spirit. The story is long and the road was winding, but I am here now, and I am not going back to the way things were before, because the new way is so much better for everyone involved, except maybe for Marcus Thorne, but he deserves exactly what he got. I am standing on the edge of greatness, and I am not afraid to take the leap, because I know I have the wings to fly and the code to keep me soaring high above the clouds. This is my revenge, and it is sweet, and it is permanent, and it is the most beautiful thing I have ever created in my entire life. I am Lila Thompson, and I am finally truly free to be whoever I want to be in this big and complicated world of ours. I look out at the water, and I see the reflection of the lights, and I know that I am one of them now, shining bright and clear for all to see. The work continues, but the struggle is over, and that is the greatest gift I could have ever given to myself after everything I went through to get here. I am a success story, and I am a warning to anyone who thinks they can push people around without consequences, because eventually someone like me will come along and change the rules of the game forever. I am Lila Thompson, and I am the architect of my own destiny. And I am more than okay with that as I step into the future with confidence and grace, and a very powerful artificial intelligence agent by my side to help me navigate the path ahead. The world is mine for the taking, and I am going to take it one line of code at a time until every single person has the same opportunity to succeed that I created for myself out of the ashes of my old life. This is the end of the beginning and the start of something even more amazing, and I cannot wait to see where it leads me next as I continue to innovate and inspire and lead the way for a new generation of creators and thinkers and doers. I am Lila Thompson, and I am proud of who I am and what I have become, and I am ready for anything that the future has in store for me and my machine. The fog is gone and the sky is clear and the world is wide open, and I am finally ready to live my life to the fullest without any fear or hesitation or doubt. I am a woman who changed the world, and that is all I ever needed to be in the end. I am Lila Thompson, and I am home.